Well, good morning, and good morning to all 0 of you. It is, what is today? Today's Wednesday, July the 14th. Is that right? Today's Thursday. Today is Thursday. Y'all, I'm completely discombobulated right now. So today's the first day of the British Open. British Open is obviously played in the United Kingdom, and they're a few hours ahead of us. So I've actually been up since like 5 o'clock watching the golf tournament. And Christy, I don't think has been to bed yet. She stayed up all night working, and by the time she decided she was going to be still, it was and maybe catch a nap. It was like 7:15, 7 o'clock. So, good morning, everybody. It is a little late, but it is Thursday, and here we are. I am headed back to Nashville for a quick turnaround to come back to Georgia this afternoon. I'm gonna go get the kiddos and get back here. Got a lot of stuff going on, so sorry for being late. But we are here. I am here, and I think maybe Christy may join me here in just a little bit, but don't know. Good morning, Bailey. Good morning, Facebook users that are anonymous. Good to see y'all. Hang on a second. I'm gonna grab my iPad so I can see who's talking. I'm probably gonna move Christy's computer because she is gonna come in here and sit down and start doing stuff. But just as soon as I get going. Y'all hang tight real quick for me. Thanks. So I hope everyone is fantastic. Good morning, Alex. I can see your name, and I can see Bailey's name. So we had a fun day yesterday. And when I say fun, of course, that's in air quotes, because anytime that you're involved in stuff like that, it's not very fun. But big shout out to Carrie Leland for being here and here to support Christy and me and the boys. That was super cool of her to be here. And luckily everything turned out pretty good. I don't know if I'm working. Turned out pretty well. So we didn't have to bring in the big guns. So, but thanks, Carrie, for your support. Thanks for being there. I know it meant a lot to Christy. Meant a lot to me. So certainly appreciate that. I guess yesterday was probably a lesson in. I say this all the time to my kids. The truth is the truth like the sun. The truth is like an absolute. The truth is a constant. The truth doesn't need us to defend it. I always say to them all the time, if you hear somebody talking a lot and trying to convince you of a point, that's a pretty clear indication that point's probably not fully true, because the truth doesn't need defending. And sometimes truth sometimes takes a minute to get out. Truth sometimes takes a minute to reveal itself. And I think a lot of that is sort of a lesson that is a biblical lesson. It's a spiritual lesson. It's a lesson that you just let the truth be the truth, and eventually it's going to come out. And I think yesterday was an example of when you just sit back and let the truth come out. Sometimes, as painful as that is, when we think we know what the truth is, and we know what should or what we believe to be true, and that should be what's going on, and it doesn't always go that way, and it doesn't always go like we think it ought to go, and we have to sit back and endure some less than comfortable, less than ideal circumstances or situations. Sometimes you just got to sit back and let it come out. And I think yesterday was sort of the revelation of the truth. And yesterday was a revelation that Sometimes you just got to let go and let God. Sometimes you just have to let go and let God and just let it be what it's going to be. And yesterday was certainly a lesson in that. And I'll be honest, for somebody like me and somebody like Christy who likes to sort of have the ability to control the situation and make it be what we want it to be. The last 2.5, 3 years has been tough in some regards, but man, all's well that ends well. Thank you for the truth. Thank you for everybody that sent prayers our way and sent us good thoughts, and it just, here we are 3 years later, so all good. How's everybody doing? Is there anything else going on? I know I saw some pictures. Bailey was in the office in Hartwell yesterday. We've got the event in Madison this afternoon. My plan was to get back, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get back to Nashville and turn around and get back here in time to be there. But hopefully, I think Christy's going to be there. So y'all make sure that you go to Madison if you've got a chance tonight to go support the ladies in Madison and the pop up in Madison. I think there's some other stuff going on over there. Down there, it'd be awesome if we could have a really big turnout there. There's a concert or something, I think, in the park across the way. So it's going to be a fun night. And so if you guys can get there, that'd be fantastic. I think she is coming. Is she coming? I don't know if she is or she's not. She is coming. She is coming. So what else do you guys want to talk about? There's not many of us here. I know it's late and there's not many folks on here, but, good morning, Miss Lynn. Yeah, y'all, Carrie Leland she is definitely an elf for sure. That is way too bright. You're gonna turn that off. Like the sun just got poured in my eyes. Hey, look at there. Bailey says he's gonna show in the house today. If you get that under contract and close, then it's gonna cap him. That ain't a bad idea. Capping is never a bad thing there, Bailey. Good job, man. I know you've been working your tail off ever since you got a butt chewing from Christy. See, the bad thing is now you can kind of expect one of those butt chewings every year if you're not getting after it. So that's the thing. Winston knows if Winston starts to slide a little bit. Oh, it's plenty of light. Oh my gosh, that was not plenty of light. There was plenty of light before.
Hey guys, which earpods are we using? What are you doing here? Like this is the camera's up there. Got you. You're talking about down here. Got you. Oh, this is different. This is not how I normally do this. You're kind of jacking up my mojo over here.
I just need you to ride.
Sorry guys. Hey. All right. I'm just riding. I'm riding. I know what we're talking about. I don't know what you talked about up to this point.
Not a doggone thing.
He hadn't talked about a doggone thing. How many people are here? 5 people are here. All right. Let's do this. I got some stuff to talk about. I can tell you that much. So, sorry guys. Slide over just a little bit here. You're not. You're almost out of the picture. Let me see. I don't think it's the camera. It's the camera that's doing that. So, anyways, you can slide this way. So, do you have a thing that we can see the comments that are trying to get my post? Who's the Facebook user that's trying to get their post license?
I can't see anything that I can.
Let me see. I'm trying to think. Let me just guess before you identify yourself. Facebook user trying to get your post license course done.
Kristen.
No, it's not Kristen yet. Chelsea, you're not supposed to reveal yourself, hon. I was trying to guess because I was gonna say I just looked at the status report and there's like 2 people that have got a post license coming up, like imminently.
Imminent.
And by imminent, I'm like, should I go ahead and send you the reinstatement form for license lapse due to failure to complete post license?
But hi, Chelsea. How are you? I haven't seen
Chelsea,
you in a minute.
Welcome back, girlfriend. Welcome back. So I think Aaron was sharing a little bit with you guys. My kids are probably like, "Why are you being so loud, Mom?"
I'm kind of like that too.
Are you kind of like that too? Because okay, so here's the deal. Aaron asked me last night, "Babe, will you stay up with me till 1 a.m.?" I'm like, "Except till 1 a.m. for what?" Because normally, typically around 1 a.m., I'm still up.
Good morning, Mags.
Good morning, Maggie. I'm still up, but I've dozed off on the couch a couple times, probably. watching some sort of an episode, like a Netflix series, like
He's probably
Suits.
falling asleep by 1.
Carson has just started Peaky Blinders. For those of y'all who've never seen Peaky Blinders, Carson just now started it. So I'm trying to let him help get caught up. But the good thing is I'm actually seeing a lot of these episodes for the first time.
Because I slept through most of them.
Because I slept through most of the first time. That's about the only time we actually get to see episodes and whatnot. So we're watching. So we might be watching Peaky or whatever. So he proceeds to tell me that the U.S. or the British Open comes on at 1 a.m. I'm like, why in the world does it come on at 1? And then I'm like, because London's 5 hours ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that London's 5 hours ahead of us because of when Lady and I traveled to London, it was 5 hours ahead of Georgia. So I said, yeah, we can do this. So at about 12 o'clock, he gets up and decides he's going to go to bed. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought you wanted to stay. And he's like, I'm just going to sleep for like 45 minutes. Just give me 45 minutes. I'm going to take a power nap. 45-minute power nap. I'll be good to go. So 45 minutes later, I go in right at 1 o'clock and I go and I turn on the TV to get it to the British Open. And there's a golf tournament that starts at 1 a.m. and it's running from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. live, but it's not the British Open. It's some women's invitational. Carson's like, Mom, me and Carson are both up trying to find it. Carson's like, Mom, I don't think this is the British Open. I said, I'm pretty sure this is not the British Open. So I start looking. British Open doesn't actually start till 4 a.m. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. So I go in there and I tell Aaron, I'm like, good news. You got 3 more hours you can sleep because the British Open doesn't start till 4 a.m. So by this point, because I already had planned to stay up and support my husband in his endeavor of watching the British Open. So I had proceeded to make a fresh pot of coffee. So by this point, I'm 2 cups of coffee in at 1 a.m.
So all I hear is footprints. She's
So, for those of y'all that are curious and you've seen these random emails coming in from me at like 3:30 a.m., it was actually me behind the computer doing it.
And this house that we're in, so where we are in Hartwell, this place is super, super small. And when she gets kind of in that mode where she's just like 2 cups of coffee in, then her footsteps get really heavy.
Well, but I wasn't really up and moving around.
Like,
I was
moving
on the
around.
computer for the most part.
I thought you fell asleep because it got quiet. And I walked in here, you're on the computer.
Yeah, no, I was on the computer. So I was working. So for those of y'all, that brings me to my story of. So for the past couple of days, for those, and most of y'all know, I mean, I haven't been real. We've lost 2 people. They're tired of hearing about it. So they'll come back. So we had this has kind of been an ongoing saga for the better part of a little over a year and a half now, with just a court case involving a saga involving my boys and involving custody matters. So y'all, and there was a point last fall where, and this is, I'm getting to a point of what I want to talk about. There was a point last fall that you guys in the expression, because I requested, some of you guys to maybe write a letter and just kind of because just an affidavit was all it was. And it was more of I don't know how to call it, what you would call it. A character affidavit. It's really more of it's almost like somebody just basically giving you a review, basically, was what. Yeah. And some of the words that you guys put on those papers, I mean, I literally sat there for 2 days and just cried reading all that stuff. I might start crying now thinking about it. For 2 days, I sat there after I'm seeing this stuff come in, and you guys just like, all I had to do was just say, hey, would you guys just mind if you got a few minutes? And I mean, they just poured in. You guys were going to great lengths to get this stuff to me. And the words that I saw on that paper, and I think to myself, so for anybody who's ever been in a relationship where that person made you feel less than you were, and you came to start to believe that, okay? And there comes a point whenever the optimism that we have and that internal self-worth that we have, regardless of how strong it can be, this is why it is so, so, so important. Oh my God, Bailey, yes, you drove to the wrong Brazos. Bailey literally drove an hour and 45 minutes the wrong direction to bring this thing to me. And then he ends up coming back. Like, I knew I was running late to get to meeting. And he's like, it's fine, I'm still 20 minutes away. I'm like, how are you 20 minutes away? Well, because I drove the wrong direction on my GPS and I plugged in the wrong address. So he ended up getting to the Brazelton office with his document. Anyways, so you guys, again, the lengths that you guys went to just to step in at just at nothing more than a mere request it literally took me back. I mean, it really did. And it truly made me realize that sometimes the lies that we believe and the things that other people can convince us of our worth or lack thereof, it's real, even for the strongest of people, because there was a time in my life when I truly believed all the lies that were being said to me, about me, from a person who I trusted, from a person who I was married to, from a person who I never in a million years imagined would take that spin on trying to make me feel so low of myself. And so just reading the words, and I'm telling you guys, those words on that paper carried me through that point. I mean, almost to the point in that moment, because that court hearing, when what we were preparing all that stuff for, did not turn out the way it turned out the way I expected it to turn out, but it wasn't the way I wanted it to turn out.
Right.
Which was the can got kicked further down the road.
Mm-hmm.
That everyone, my mom, some of the attorneys, everybody was like, well, it's okay, because we're going to be back in there in 6 weeks and this thing will be over with. Well, it wasn't 6 weeks. It was from November until July the 13th. And when I got the notification a couple months ago that July the 13th was the date that we were going to finally get back in and let the judge, hear us and talk to us and whatever, I thought, a lot of people don't like the number 13. And I truly believe that it's whatever you make of it. It is, every situation is whatever you make of it. Because for some people, 13 is a lucky number for them. For some people, they think 13 is like the doomsday number. But I remember when I saw the date being the 13th, I thought to myself, lucky number 13. This is the day that it's all going to be taken care of. And so as we lead up to it, and you know how Aaron kind of sometimes describes our difference in styles of listing presentations, where a lot of the people hire a business person, people hire someone not because of how prepared they appear to be, but they hire them. If you've ever heard the story about the aircraft mechanic, who this guy, had all these people come in and he spent all this money trying to get this issue repaired on his airplane, and he would spend thousands and thousands of dollars, and everybody's coming in saying, well, it might be this or it might be that, but I don't know if this is going to fix it. And he had this guy come in who looked like he was just like a old mechanic, an old guy, didn't really look all prepared, and like he wasn't wearing the perfect suit and didn't have all the perfect tools and all. And he walked in and he said, I'll listen to it. And he listened to it, and the guy turns the thing on, and the guy listens to it for a minute. He says, turn it back off. And he walks over and he picks up some just random tool, and he walks over and he taps it like 3 times. And the guy cranks back up and boom, it's fixed. And the guy's like, okay, that'll be $25,000. And he's like, what? Are you serious? Like, what do you mean $25,000? Like you literally went over there and picked up a tool and tapped the airplane 3 different times. And he said, yeah, but I knew exactly where to tap it. I knew exactly what needed to happen to fix the issue. That level of expertise is priceless. And so I take that story and I connect it to the situation where, going into this week, knowing that this was a culmination of all these things that are going on. And for those of you that know us and know, you've heard me talk about, I've literally been ready to strangle Carson Chitwood because of grades and just not performing the way that it should be, the way that I know is the standard I've got set for him and what he's capable of doing. So we go in there, but I just had this crazy, like, just eerie calm. You guys ever have that feeling like where everything's pointing, like everything, the way it looks, it doesn't appear as though you're at all prepared, but you just have this insane calm about you and about just the sense of peace about a situation? That's how I felt Monday morning. Lynn Grizzle sent Aaron and I I don't know if it was a devotion, it was a post, it was something that someone had sent her. And again, I truly believe that everything lines up exactly the way that it's supposed to line up. And the timing of everything is right on time. And she sent this, and honestly, I can't remember. There was a verse but the message was incredible. And later on, Lynn sent a thing back and corrected the scripture that was marked for the message. And I said, you know what? The message was so unbelievable. It didn't really, to me, I wasn't going back and checking what the actual scripture was to see if it matched. That message was so on time for what I needed to hear this week. It was insane.
Mm-hmm.
So rock on. And at the last minute, somebody from my attorney's office calls me at like on Monday with this list of things that they had sent me a couple weeks ago that I had not seen. For those of y'all that know, I have I'm looking at errands right now, but I've got 200 and some 30 plus thousand unread emails in my inbox. Everybody knows if you've got a message, an email that you've sent Christy, you need to follow up with a text message or a phone call saying, hey, check your email because I've sent you something that's really important that I need you to see. So I get a phone call Monday morning, and lo and behold, she tells me she sent me this email, but the email had been sent like 2.5 weeks ago. So I'm like, look, I've got so much stuff going on this week. Logan and Mine, you're about to have a baby. This was at the point that I wasn't sure that their delivery was being rescheduled yet, or not rescheduled, was not imminent, like in the next couple of days. So I'm scrambling this week, trying to make sure I've got everything taken care of for you guys, trying to make sure I've got stuff done, trying to make sure I've got stuff ready for court. We've got some major big life events happening this week, like more major life events happening in a series of like a span of like 7 days than I've ever had happening in a span of 7 days in my entire life.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So there's a lot of major life events happening in our families right now. So she calls me, and I was just like, you know what? And I responded in an email that evening to the attorney, and I said, look, here's where I'm at. One, I wasn't ignoring anything, and I'm sorry because trust me, I don't ignore your messages or any attorney that I'm paying. I don't ignore your phone calls or emails because I'm paying you a lot of money to send those emails and make those phone calls. Mm-hmm. So I can assure you I'm not ignoring them. But at the same time, when I saw that list of things, there was no way, based on everything I already had on my plate for the next 2 days, there was no way I could table all that stuff to devote the entire day to that. So I will try to gather what I can. So as I'm looking into stuff later that day and into the evening, after I've taken care of business stuff for you guys, I kind of come across something that I start connecting some dots and some things make sense or starting to come together for me. And so I call Carrie. This is where Carrie Leland comes in, and I texted her and I said, I don't know what your schedule looks like. It might have been Tuesday when I texted her this. I don't know what your schedule looks like on Wednesday afternoon, but if there's any chance that you can be in Hartwell, because not only is Carrie a fantastic real estate agent, which is not what I needed her area of expertise for, she is a person who intimately knows details and processes and requirements of school systems. So I needed her to kind of be there and just not really sure what for, just knew that I needed her there, right? So she says, absolutely. So lo and behold, she shows up. It works out conveniently because she can go and work at the office if she needs to right there, because our office in Hartwell's just right there within walking distance where we had to be. So we get there yesterday. I get a message from my attorney who says, now I'm going and picking up a couple of things she'd asked me to go and pick up right before. And so people were having them ready for me and I was going picking them up. And my attorney texts me and she says, there's a really nice lady here. She said, and she's with a school system. She introduced herself and she didn't really tell me. And I think I don't know if Siri typo corrected the school system, but she says she's with so-and-so school system. She's really, really nice. She says she's a real estate agent. Not sure if you know who she is or not, but she's very nice. She's very sharp. And I hope she's here for you. This is my attorney saying this. Because she's probably thinking to herself, because of this person's level, like the stand, like where my attorney ranked Carrie based on her conversation didn't equate to anything she expected to be coming there for the other side. And there was nobody else there. When she got there, the courtroom was completely locked up. I mean, like Tuesdays are court hearing days in Hart County, and this courtroom was completely dark, shut down. Nobody was there. They were there for us yesterday afternoon. So anyway, so fast forward to, good morning, Brenda. So fast forward to, we go in, everyone has to leave. So again, going back to how I felt Monday afternoon, I told Aaron this, and I may have even shared it with Lynn or a couple people. I literally felt like David going in against Goliath, because this thing we've been up against for the past gosh, going on 4 years,
Yeah.
honestly. This current matter has been going on for a year and a half.
Bigger than one
It's
person.
so much bigger than one thing. I mean, it literally is like Goliath.
Yeah,
I mean, it was truly
enormous.
like all these. It's almost like the Transformer. If you guys have seen Transformers,
like
the Transformer that comes in with all the different things that come from all different areas and make it so strong. That's kind of what we were going up against. And I said to Aaron, and I said to my attorney, and I may have shared it with Lynn, I said, I feel like David going in with 2 smooth stones and a slingshot.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt. But the two stones that I had going in, because I have 2 different attorneys whose areas of expertise are very different. They're both very, very good attorneys.
Styles are different.
Styles are completely different, but together they are like a dream team.
Yeah. Formidable.
And I said, 2 stones, 1 slingshot, 1 giant we're going in against. And I am absolutely at peace with whatever the outcome is, because I truly believe that it's exactly what the Lord has already willed and has already put in place. And we walked in there yesterday. I was in the courtroom for just a few minutes, came back, and the judge kind of, no real testimony got started. The educator who was there, everybody had to leave. If anybody's ever been involved in a case, anybody who's going to be called as a witness can't be in the courtroom. They all have to leave and go wait outside until they're called. And so it was just us and this one little random kid sitting there in the corner. And I'm like, who is that kid? Like, what's he doing here? And apparently he was an intern, because he was just kind of like intently staring at what was going on. But I'm like, what's this kid doing here? Who is he? So anyway, so we end up, they take a break. They call one of my kids in to go back and have a conversation with the judge and all the attorneys. So it's my son and we to this moment don't know what was said back there. Have no idea what was said, other than he walked out much sooner than I anticipated he would be walking out, because I thought, oh God, they're going to have him back there for an hour. He's going to walk out. For those of y'all that know Carson, if you've ever seen him play golf, like he gets so nervous. He's so competitive, y'all. When he plays golf, within minutes, he has got a streak up the back of his shorts from sweating.
He's a butt sweater.
He is an absolute butt sweater.
He's a butt sweater.
I wasn't going to say that, but you said it.
He shows all his nerves in his butt sweat.
So he walked in, he was dressed as, not like all dressed up, because he was kind of contemplating, do I need to wear a suit? Because he kind of knew to be prepared, because he kind of was expecting that he might get called in.
Right.
And so, but he just walks in casual. He's got on apparently sweat wicking shorts that the sweat does not absorb to the shorts, because
non-cotton.
There was not an ounce of sweat showing anywhere on him. He was like, I'm fine. I'm good to go. So next thing I know, just a few minutes later, my attorneys walk in. I go, let's go. It's done. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And they're like, it's over with. We just got to work out the details now. It's all done. We're good. And I was like, and it was almost like one of those things where it happened. Do you guys ever have those things where you feel like you're fighting and when you finally just let go, you just let go of the reins, it falls into place exactly like it's supposed to.
But the crazy thing, it was so anticlimactic that I kept asking, "Are y'all sure? Are you sure?" We'd walk out, and I'm like, "So are y'all sure?" I mean, because this doesn't feel like we're done. I mean, it feels like there's another shoe about to drop. And they're like, "Nope, all good, all done."
And I'm like, seriously? Like all that. And again, I just had this overwhelming peace Monday that it was done.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, and this was my prayer. And I shared this with, maybe it was, I can't remember who, because I only shared it with a select few people, but I think this was my mom that I shared this with. I said, I know that the Lord is putting exactly, he has prepared both, their names are Tiffany and Kevin, attorneys. I know he's prepared me. He's prepared Judge Phelps, the judge in the matter. I probably shouldn't have said the name, but there it is. And I pray that he's preparing the hearts of the opposing side, because what needs to happen is, I truly believe our Lord is a Lord of closing doors that no one can open and opening doors that no one can hold closed. And no matter how much human effort we put into it, when it's the will, it's going to happen, regardless of how much we fight it, or we might try to help it along. And sometimes us helping it along actually delays the process, where the Lord just says, just get the heck out of my way.
Well, this is what I said earlier.
Let me do this.
You weren't listening. I just said the truth reveals itself. The truth always, it's like, it was no fanfare. There was no trumpet. There was no da-da-da. There was no flag planted in the ground. It was just truth.
Here it is.
And
boom.
The
Flag
truth
just
was
drops
done.
down.
The truth was done.
Yep.
It was revealed. And we walked out like,
that
there
easy.
you go.
Right.
There it is.
So. And just this, again, just this overwhelming sense of now everyone finally gets to have the life and live the normal life, including on the other side.
Yeah.
That should have taken place. Because do you guys ever, I mean, how many of you could say that you sometimes, Maggie, you're absolutely right. Well, what wasn't really a scare. It wasn't a scare for most people, but for somebody this is your first time ever having a baby. Maggie says we had a scare Tuesday, but he worked that out too. You might have been nervous and uptight, but God was like, this is not a big deal at all. It wasn't a big deal at all. But again, understandably, when you go in for an appointment, they say, yeah, we're just going to come back and do an ultrasound just to be safe, just to check on things, to make sure everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was good and everything was perfect. Exactly. For those of y'all that haven't met Maggie, she is extremely competitive. She doesn't do well with things not going exactly the way she thinks they're supposed to go, exactly when she thinks. And I love this girl. She is my daughter-in-law, and she is the absolute perfect person for my son. But she will cause levels of anxiety in herself due to not being able to just sit back and let things happen the way they're supposed to. And I jokingly said, Maggie, this is one of the things you are not going to be able to control.
You're not the one to control this one.
You are not going to get to control this situation. Mm-hmm. So went in, they did the check. Everything was perfectly fine. Baby girl is not ready to come out yet. And originally, Chelsea, that's right. Maggie, that sweet girl is coming right on her time. That's exactly right.
That's right.
She is going to come. So for those of y'all that have seen
And Maggie, by the way, that'll be the rest of your life. Because Halton will do exactly what she wants to do, when she wants to do it, when she feels like it.
Because guess who she takes after? She's already showing signs of being just like her CC. So I'm sorry I was late. I got here when I wanted to. But she's really not late.
Better
Y'all,
late
she's
than ugly.
Actually better late than ugly. What a great, fantastic, it's such a great mantra.
When she gets here, it's not going to matter if she was 14 days late, 2 days early, or right when she's supposed to be here.
I was due July the 4th, y'all, and I was born July 26th. I was literally 22 days late, and I haven't caught up since. You know why? Because I got here exactly when I felt like getting here. So I started saying something a while ago. So sometimes we do things out of care. We try to force a situation. Sometimes it's because we're just going to show them we can do it. We've got an axe to grind. We've got a point to prove. And sometimes we end up putting ourselves in a situation that we are just not meant to be doing, right? And there's somebody else that the Lord has intended for that. And as soon as you kind of give, Bailey, that doesn't surprise me that you were a month early. Honestly, I think somebody just miscalculated your due date because you probably got there right on time as well. But once you allow Lynn put on their sweet surrender, we just let go and just let God take control, take the reins. And as soon as we do that, everything just falls into place. Sometimes we have to get out of our own way in order for things to go the way they're supposed to go.
Most of the time.
All the time, honestly.
Yeah.
Sometimes, now we have to put our best foot forward. We can't just sit back and expect it to fall into place without effort. But once we've put the effort in and we've done everything we know to do, mm-hmm. At that point, you just have to we have to trust the process, guys. And yesterday was proof to me that, so in Hartwell, there's a little place called Market 50. It's a little sandwich shop. So for those of you that are in Hartwell, and you've been to Market 50, there was a little sign sitting in the window, and I saw it about 3 months ago, and I took a picture of it. I was sitting in the red light, and I could see the sign in the window, but I was headed somewhere, so I couldn't stop and go in there and buy it. But it said, I'm trying to think because I pulled it out last night and put it up on the counter. It said, it was about seeing for those when you something about letting God into everything. When you sit back and anyways, it's something about then you can see God in everything, mm-hmm. and you can see his presence in everything you do when you'll just sit back and just turn it over to him. And that's exactly what I had to do. I mean, it's exactly, and again, all the things were put in place that said the words to me that I needed to hear. That message that Lynn sent us the other day was right on time.
Well, see, and it's funny. I saw this the other day. You know, the farmer doesn't make anything grow. All a farmer does is plant the seeds and then does the work to cultivate the seed. The farmer has no control on whether or not it grows. The
Right.
farmer has no control on the harvest. All the farmer can do is plant the seed and then do the work that it's going to take to water, to cultivate, to keep the weeds out, to make sure he sprays it correctly and does the things
Right.
to take care of the seed, to make sure the seed's in a good spot.
Right.
But he has no control over the growth. And I think that's the lesson in this for us is in this situation
And in every
is
situation.
you planted the seed, you did the work, you did all the things that needed to be done. And for people like us, we like to control the growth. We like to make sure that if I plant the seed, I'm going to get the stalk. And it doesn't always work that way.
Right.
And sometimes you can put your best effort in, and sometimes you can do all the things you think you need to do, and that particular seed will not grow in that particular ground.
Right.
And so sometimes it takes us trying to find what ground our seeds are going to grow in and do that work, and then just let go and trust that it's all going to harvest, that it's all going to come to fruition. And I think this situation was one of those
Right.
that you wanted to we wanted to make sure that all these things were in place and make sure that that I was dotted, this T's crossed, make sure this gets done. If that's not done, this is going to happen. And at the end of the day, it was just the seed that was planted. It was the cultivation. It's the water, the love. It's just us being us.
Right.
They created the harvest.
Well, and I will say this, sometimes we have to go through, and we say this all the time, you guys, where sometimes you have to go through a process, a refining process where we are being tested and we are being put through a process until our response to whatever that situation is becomes what it's supposed to be. And we have to continue. The more we fight it, the longer we are prolonging and delaying the outcome we're hoping for. Because think about a drowning person. If a person is fighting somebody who's trying to help them and save them and who knows what needs to be done, they're just going to sit back and not do anything and not let that outcome present itself until that person quits fighting it, and just trust the person that has come to aid them. So I truly believe that I've experienced enough of seeing even what happened yesterday afternoon as we got into the courtroom to start with. I have seen that same situation enough. And sometimes it's just, expertise comes from experience. That's what it comes from. It comes from experience in a situation and doing something enough times. And we say this all the time. That's all confidence comes from. My confidence, even though the input was the same as it's been for the past 3.5 years of this person using the same tactics, the hooping up, trying to contest everything, trying to argue, trying to jump up and down, scream and yell, or make you feel like what you've done is inadequate, even in preparation for going into that. And you just have to sit back and go, just let them do what they're going to do, and then I'm going to let them finish. And we're not going to sit there, because the more you argue it, the longer it prolongs it. So I just sat there and did nothing. My attorney wrote a note on the paper and said, "Sit still," and a smiley face. That was literally the 2 words she wrote on a paper to me. "Sit still," smiley face. So I just sat back and sat still. Trusted the expert that I had hired, the airplane mechanic, who it doesn't matter what the tool is, because she knows exactly what hammer to pick up and exactly where to tap the airplane. And exactly how long to wait to listen to the hum to know exactly where she needed to tap that airplane. And that's exactly what happened. And I sat there and I sat still and I just smiled.
Struggle, by the way.
Oh, it was a major, major struggle.
I wasn't in there, but I promise you, she felt like I felt when I made my 12 the other day on Sunday.
I felt that way?
Yeah, you're in.
No, I didn't.
Y'all,
I'm telling you, I was perfectly fine, because I promise you, the people that I had that were leading me into battle were the best of the best. And when you've got the best of the best, then you can sit back with confidence and know that I'm going to trust this process. And I was literally able to walk the talk that we say to you guys all the time,
So,
which is do your best, be prepared, put your best foot forward, and then trust the process.
and it's so
much easier said than done.
But it's so applicable to the real estate business. I mean, because everything that you do doesn't get an immediate return. Like every phone call is not an appointment. Every card you send out doesn't get an immediate response back, and they say, "Oh my gosh, come list my house." Every door you go knock on doesn't turn into a listing appointment. I mean, you got to do a lot of things that never get any feedback, and that you don't have that immediate feedback loop that says if I do X, I'm gonna get Y. You don't have that, so you have to trust the process. You got to keep putting your best foot forward. You got to keep sending cards out. You got to keep making phone calls. You got to keep prospecting. You have to keep having conversations. You have to keep honing your craft. You have to keep practicing. You got to keep doing all those things over. Keep going to training. Keep getting up in the morning doing your meditation. Keep getting up and reading a book. Keep praying. Keep doing all the things you're doing over and over and over again. And you may not ever see an immediate result from that. But the truth is the truth is the truth. And when you continue to do the things that need to be done, you continue to do those small things over time, it's making enormous impacts. It's a drop of water hitting a rock over and over and over till finally that rock breaks open. I mean, ask anybody whose business is blown up, and they don't know when it happens. It just happens because they've continued to do the thing, continue to do the thing, continue to do the thing, and then finally the business blows open. And then this momentum starts rolling, and it's never going to be any different from that.
Right. And Bailey, you're on here. I've got an example of that. I mean, Bailey is a perfect example of that. Maggie, you're on here. Perfect example of that, where you guys have trusted the process. You've done the things that you know to do. Okay. You've done that. I mean, literally, Bailey, and there's some, and sometimes for those of you that have watched Karate Kid, the original Karate Kid, okay? And I may be revealing my age, and for some of you guys, if you said, yes, I've seen the original Karate Kid, then you may be revealing yours as well. But Daniel did not understand what Mr. Miyagi was doing, and honestly, he got frustrated with him because he didn't understand.
The process was frustrating.
The process was frustrating, and he was like, you're just expecting me to be your do boy, and that's not the word he used, but essentially that's what he was like. I don't understand. And it took Daniel, after having done this repetitively over and over and over again, until it was literally the same motion, the same habit. And he got upset, and Mr. Miyagi one night says, do this. And he literally goes and takes him through everything he'd been having him do repeatedly over and over and over again until Daniel realized what had been happening. And every motion he needed to be able to be an absolute expert in his craft of karate, Daniel was doing without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because of the repetition. It had been done over and over and over and over again so much. And Mr. Miyagi wasn't letting Daniel pay him, but he was leveraging he knew the things that needed to be done in order to get Daniel where he needed to be a winner, to be a champion in his craft, while at the same time there was a benefit to even to the teacher. Okay, so it's every story. Most stories have the same thing. You've got to do it. You've got to be uncomfortable. You've got to embrace the suck. You've got to get through those moments of the discomfort. You've got to get through. There was a picture that I showed you, the basketball quote, and I wish I thought I was going to screenshot, but I don't think I screenshot it. But it was talking about the growth that we have through the storms, through the trials, through the hard times, through the things we don't want to do. As we embrace the suck and we grow through that. And you breathe like you were fixing to say something.
Yeah, but I was letting you finish.
So yesterday was the evidence to your broker, one of your leaders, to say the people who you have entrusted to guide you in this thing called real estate, which is just this crazy industry that you never know what's going to happen. I mean, the only thing you can expect is the unexpected, honestly, in real estate.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at Bailey and I'm looking at Maggie, and Bailey, I said to him months ago, I think that what I need to get you into is somewhere that you are in the business even if it's not your business, you are in the real estate business and you are focused, you are in that energy. That's the vibration you're in. And kind of part of the, and from that, I've actually started suggesting that newer agents get involved in doing the exact same thing. Because as soon as Bailey got involved in it and he was helping Anna with her transactions, oh my gosh, all of a sudden, I mean, Bailey, I was looking at last night, he's got like 7 things under contract. Like everything he's got pending right now went from nothing 3 months ago, or very, very little, or just he was literally driving wherever he had to drive to go and do business, to now he's got so much stuff going on, to the point that he was almost overcome with anxiety. And it wasn't that he couldn't do it. It was just that I think he was just in a different space. It's almost like when you bust through, if you're on a video game and you bust through that next level, when it took you over and over and over again on that same level, you almost can do that same level without even thinking about it. You know the motions, you know everything else. But then when you get to that next level, you've got all the new obstacles, you've got all the different timing, you've got everything, and you're having to figure all that out. Well, that's where Bailey was at. And he called me freaking out. And I'm like, dude, pull the car over, pull yourself together. Like, first thing you gotta do is calm your ass down, and then I can help you, right? And he was like, and he literally texted me later. He's like, oh my God, Christy, I'm so glad you chewed me out. I didn't chew him out, but to Bailey, it might have been a chewing out. But it was a calm down, and then I can help you. I can't help you logically when your mind is like freaking out.
But the crazy thing is, it's like when the go-kart goes from 10 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour, you have this moment of freak out because now you're just trying to hang on for dear life and trying to figure out if this thing's going to throw you out. So you're trying to decide if you're going to jump out of it or you're going to hang on to a steer around these corners. And what's so funny is in this business, you do that. You're at nothing, and we bitch and moan and complain because we're at nothing. We're doing all the things that need to be done. It just hasn't broke loose yet. And then all of a sudden it breaks loose. And now you're like hyperventilating because you got too much going on, and you got so many deals going on. I'm like, I can't spit on these plates. Oh my God. So we go from being really, really upset and bitching and moaning because we have nothing to bitching and moaning because we have too much. So, and then you find
it's not really bitching and moaning, but like
it's the anxiety. It creates some franticness, and it creates some anxiety. So then that's where somebody like Mr. Miyagi comes in and says,
Mr. Miyagi,
sit down, shut up, and breathe, and let's get your feet under you. And then now you have your feet under you, right. And now it feels much better.
Right.
Which is a fantastic place to be, by the way. Having a lot to do and a lot of business coming in is a whole lot better place to be than wondering where your next deal's coming from. So just again, every story has a one character who's trying to learn and another character who's already been there, done that. And then this character who's been there, done that, is trying to teach the young Skywalker the ways of the Force, and trying to teach Mr. Miyagi's trying to teach Daniel's son how to wax on, wax off, because he knows the end result. And a lot of times when you're the Padawan, when you're the student, when you're the one learning, when you can't see the end result, all you know is this is super frustrating. I don't feel like I'm getting everything I need to get done. And what happens a lot of times in those situations is you want to quit. You want to quit because you don't feel like you're getting what you ought to get as fast as you ought to get it. And you want to jump ship and go try something else because you think you need to push it on 30 seconds, and then bling, the pot roast comes out of the microwave in 30 seconds. And that's just not the way this works. And so what we ask is just trust the process. We've been there, done that. We've walked this path before. We've grown a business from zero to a bunch.
Right.
We know what to do and how to do it. You just got to trust us. Right. And so when we tell you to go paint the fence, and you're like, what's painting the fence have to do with getting a real estate deal? And we tell you, go paint the fence. Right. This is how you need to go do this. You ought to trust it. You ought to trust us. And I know most of you do. Yeah. Trust us that we've got your best interest at heart. And we're trying to create for you a real estate business, not only a sustainable real estate business, but a real estate business that's probably bigger than you think is possible. Because we know every one of you in our company has the ability to have a real estate business, not just a sustainable, good real estate business,
thriving,
but an unbelievable,
where you thrive.
Like you're getting to do stuff that you never thought you were going to get to do as a result of being in this business.
Right.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to say. We learn every day with you. We learn how to trust. We learn what to do. And sometimes, and I know she's going to get to this in a second, sometimes we look at a piece of paper and we go, holy crap, it is working. And we look at some things that aren't necessarily great Like if I were to say, okay, these three things are really, really good, and these three things are really bad. If I'm looking at the health of our company, and one of these three things on the really bad ledger happens, and I'm like, oh shit, what's going on? What are we doing?
Right.
Are we doing this the right way? And then Mr. Miyagi hands me a piece of paper, a bonsai tree, and says, "Here, just look at that." And you go, "Oh my God, look at that! It's gorgeous. It's working." So trust. I promise. Sometimes it feels like we are haphazard. Sometimes it feels like we don't know what the hell we're doing. Hell, sometimes we look at each other and go, "Do we know what we're doing?" And then at the end of the day, we do know what we're doing.
So I'm going to jump in here because I am going to take this over. So Bailey put a message on here a while ago. I guess whenever you guys started heckling, I did lay down at about 6:45 because it was about 15 minutes before I knew Aaron needed to get up. Maybe it was 7:15 when I actually laid down. 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because I said to him, "Are you doing a call this morning?" Because I was still up, y'all. I had yet to go to sleep. I was still, my cups of coffee were still well kicked in. Okay. So I came in here about 7:15, 7 o'clock, laid my head on the couch and said, "Give me 15, 20 minutes. Wake me up when you're ready to do the call. Just give me, I'm just going to take a quick power nap." Yep. So then I wake up at, I don't know, the alarm starts going off 7:45 or whatever. And I'm like, "Are you doing a call?" And I need to take the dogs out. Anyways. But I see Bailey's message says, "Christy's been up since like 6:20 going at it." No, actually, Bailey, I was winding things down at that point. I had been home all night long. For those of y'all that got, like I said, emails from me at like 3 o'clock this morning, it really was me. Those weren't like scheduled emails. That was still me over here pecking away at it. But so we've experienced some change this year.
Yeah.
That honestly, at times when we get this, and we got another phone call this week, and it's one of those where my husband, who is my rock, right? He's the one that when he's the one I know I can hold on to when things get real unsteady for me. And he is that solid, even if there might be not be anything that he knows he can contribute other than just to be a solid, steady force for me to just hang on to until I can get my feet up underneath me. And sometimes that's what we need in life is we just need that person that we know is there just to hold on to and just ride through the storm.
Yeah.
And so he probably the biggest piece where he questions himself and I have to look at him and say, "Calm your ass down. Just calm your ass down for a minute." I have to have a Bailey conversation with him. So it is when someone decides they're going to leave and go somewhere else to another company. And he gets like, "Well, you know what? Fine, let them go. They're not coming back." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "No, we are going to support whatever they're doing. Whatever they do, if that's the decision, we love them. We know what we see in them. And we are going to continue to let them know that what we see in them." And it might mean going somewhere else. And it might mean going somewhere else and realizing that nutrition, that nurturing, that encouragement, that culture, that feeling, that confidence that they felt when they got around this group of people that we call Exit Realty Lake Country isn't in other places. Y'all, what we have is something super, super special. So I'm sitting there last night. So I get a message from Derek Stevenson that I see, who is the VP over franchise support, who says, "Hey guys, reminder, today's your deadline to make sure that all your deals that close before June the 30th have got to be closed out in memo because that's the end of the exit production year." Right. So when we go to convention, okay, this is the exit production year. That's what your awards are based on at convention. So I'm like, okay, because I don't have anything else going on today, because even though for the last day and a half, I've been completely like trying to get things handled. Y'all, I've been living by the 15-second window for the past 3 days. So some things like fell off the plate and I'm like, oh my gosh. So as I'm going through these deals, I'm like, oh my gosh, that deal has not been paid. Because I go in and before I close a deal, if it's still open, there's a reason for it. Either I'm waiting for a deposit, I haven't processed something on it, I'm still looking for something. So I'm going through last night having to close deals and just write down notes of things that still have to be done for these deals that I've got still open because they've got to be closed out in memo in order to be credited for the production year. So I'm out there last night closing, and that's why I was up till literally now, like all night long, with the exception of a 40-minute nap. So I'm going through and I'm looking at all this stuff. And so I get everything closed out and I go and I pull our end production, our 1 year production rolling year. And this is where this came in. And this is what, when Aaron got up at 4, because he was about 45 minutes late for the British Open starting. At about 4:45, when he walks in there and he sits down, he comes in and he makes coffee and he does this. So he's up about 4:45, 5 o'clock. And he sits down and his glasses are on the table, and I print this out. And I walk over and I pick up his glasses. I hand him this piece of paper in his glass. I walk around, just put it in his lap, and I walk away. He's like, "What's this?" And he's reading it. And when he picks it up, he's looking at it. Y'all know how, like, you in school, you like had a book and you had something up where it made it look like you were paying attention to the teacher and you were doing what the teacher asked you to do, but you really weren't. You were really doing something different. So as he's looking at it, and he's really, because I know what's on this paper, and I'm thinking, he's going to be a little more excited than this. Like, and I look at myself, are you looking at the paper? Or are you looking at the TV? Like, are you saying, "Oh my goodness," for the putt that just happened? Or is this because you're looking at what's on the paper? He said, "No, I'm looking at this paper." And he was very quiet for a few minutes. And I thought to myself, maybe he wasn't as impressed with this as I was. So, and I always know where he's thinking and he's absorbing something when he reads it. So I'm going to share some numbers with you guys. So for those of you who were with our company last year, at the end of the year, at the end of the production year, and we shared the numbers with you. Those numbers were as you set the bar higher and higher, it gets harder and harder to exceed that bar.
Yeah.
Right.
So quick reminder. So exits production year is from July 1 to June 30.
Right.
That's exits production year. So it is a half a year to the half a year. That's exits production year, where our production year is January to December.
Correct.
Okay. So just a reminder for those of you.
So the corporate production year, which is how the 12 months rolls, like that's why your exit dues are due.
Yep.
June 30th or July 1st, whatever.
Yep.
So that's the exit corporate production.
Just a reminder.
So this is our production year, exit corporate production year over year. So I'm going to share with you guys, and this is huge so keep in mind, there's a lot of brokerages within Georgia that are in the metro areas that are big producing brokerages, okay, that have a pretty large number of agents, okay, that their production numbers for annual are equivalent to our year over year change.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's a hint.
Our production year that ended in June of 2021, that ended June 30th of 2021, our closed volume was 112 million. Okay, as a company.
Record. That's a record, by the way.
Which is a huge record for us. That was something that we were like, holy cow.
Yeah.
112 million. Okay. Our closed production, and I hope you guys are here to listen to this. Our closed production, I want you to lean in and hear this. Our closed production for the production year ending June of 2022 was $166,331,385. Y'all, that is a $54 million increase year over year. 48.19% increase. Y'all, 48% increase.
Almost 50% increase.
When we look at agent count, from June of 2021 to June of 2022, it is not that different. We've lost some agents who Aaron loses his head about when we lose agents, and we've gained agents. And again, I view this as the gardener who's going in and pruning the leaves or the limbs or the plants that are not supposed to. It's not saying they're not good for another garden. They just don't fit in this garden. Okay? They are perfectly good plants. They just have to be transplanted, and they're going to grow and bloom potentially somewhere else. And maybe they're going to have to go somewhere else and realize that the water that they were getting here was unlike anything they can get anywhere else. And they're going to come back and be lifers. Bailey is a lifer now as a result of that exact same thing happening, of him recognizing and realizing that sometimes it sounds really, really good. And when things aren't going exactly the way you think they're supposed to be going, that maybe what you need to do is you need to change the pot you're growing in when it's not what you need to do. You need to hunker down and you need to take root, because the deep roots are how a plant grows and in a sustainable way that will thrive and blossom. So, but agents we've got are doing, again, Bailey talks about Kristen. Kristen is a new agent who is doing exactly that. She is trusting the process. She is blooming where she's planted. Okay. And by blooming, I mean she is blooming. And she's got some stuff going on right now, finally, that she's probably thinking to herself, finally, like it's been months and months. I've been doing this. But you know what? She's been learning how to do it the right way. All things that are worth having are not necessarily quick. They don't come, easy go. Yeah. Okay. So production, that was the production number, y'all. 112 million last year to 166 million this year. Huge difference. Again, breaking records over a record-breaking year, by the way.
Breaking necks and cashing checks, baby.
Breaking necks and cashing checks. This year, closed commission, y'all. Gross closed commission. Y'all, the year that we broke $1 million in our company in gross closed commissions was paramount for us. It was like, how does that even happen? Like, have we really gotten to the point that we're closing over $1 million in gross closed commission? Like, it was crazy for us. Okay. Last year, year end, June 30th, 2021, closed commission, $3 million, $3,041,650. Okay. Which is huge. Y'all, 3 times bigger than we ever imagined that our agents would be doing. Like, for us to sit there and think of that was like insane. I think Aaron got all teared up last year when he saw that number. He's like, are you kidding me? How many lives have been changed as a result of that? Guess what our closed commission, gross closed commission for our agents, year ending June of 2022. And y'all, when it all boils down to it, it's not about the money, but we're not a 501c3, in case y'all hadn't noticed. We might be a 501c3, but y'all are not in this for nonprofit. You are in it to make a living and to make a difference. Okay.
Create legacy.
And to create a legacy and to make an impact. Yeah. But you can't do an impact if you're worried about how am I going to feed my kids?
I'm going to pay my bills.
It's hard to do that. So at the end of the day, the commission, it's not all about the money, but it is about, you got to be able to make this money. Again, year end June 30, 2021, gross closed commissions, $3,041,650 for agents of Exit Realty Lake Country. Year end June 30th, 2022, gross closed commissions, $4,278,312. Y'all, insane. That is a $1,236,662 difference.
Increase.
A 40.66% increase
in commission,
in money earned in the lives of our agents, into your homes, into your children's future, into your investments, into whatever it is you're doing. That's the difference.
Buying beach houses.
Buying beach houses. I mean, I love the fact that we're 3. Now we've had 3 people buy beach houses in our family. Like our 3rd year, we've had 3 people buying oceanfront or very close to oceanfront investments. Yeah. Okay, closed sides. I'm going to make this quick because I'm going to finish this up for you guys. Closed sides, y'all. Last year, I thought to myself, can we really do this? Can we truly do this? Like, I don't know that we can do this much more. Because whenever we were closing 300, 350 deals a year, that was a lot. Yeah. That was a lot of files to review. That was a lot of stuff happening. Last year, we closed production year ending June 30th, 2021, 470 deals, which was huge for us. Aaron said to me, he said, you think we can break 500? I said, hold my beer, right? This year, production year ending June 30th, 2022, 590 closed transactions. You guys, that is insane. Absolutely. That is 50 deals a month. No, that's more. Yeah, that's right at 50 deals a month. No, 6. Yeah, 5. Yeah, 50 deals a month because we're just shy of 600. Yeah, right at 50 deals a month. Y'all, that is 120. That is increasing our closings by 10 deals a month. Keep in mind, our agent count has not changed. We are a net.
Probably the same.
We are
actually.
We may be a net low. We may be a net decrease, which means the agents that are here are producing the heck out of some real estate.
Yep.
Okay. This is the piece I love. That little scheme that they talk about, that multi-level residual.
Our multi-level marketing, our pyramid scheme.
The pyramid scheme that we're talking about. The thing that people are like, oh, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Thing.
I don't want to recruit. I don't want to recruit.
I don't want to recruit.
I don't want that.
That's just a scam.
That's ridiculous. I want to sell real estate.
Company development fees, sponsoring bonuses, This is Exit Realty Corp International's thank you to the agents in our company for growing our company with the right kinds of agents. Okay. That's all this is. This is Exit Realty Corp International's way of saying thank you. Okay. Our residuals that have been paid, residual income that have been paid to agents within our company, year ending June 2021, $212,000. That was fantastic, y'all.
Really, really big.
That's almost $20,000 a month. Almost $20,000 a month, which is huge. Okay.
And residuals.
This is just bonus. This is just mailbox money.
Play money.
Play money. Okay. This is the kind of stuff that Michelle's buying a beach house. Alex is buying a beach house. Carrie's taking her family on a cruise. These are the Bruce. They're telling well, he's buying Corvettes like left and right. Who knows? This year, production year ending 2022, June 30, 2022, $287,870 in bonuses paid out to our agents in residual income.
Almost $300,000.
Almost $300,000, y'all.
In play money.
That is bonuses. That's almost $30,000 a month, $25,000 a month is being paid out to agents in our company as a thank you from Exit Realty.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you from Exit Realty Corp International.
Yep.
That is unbelievable, y'all. I can't. We operate to the breadth and depth of our understanding. We operate to the limits that we put on ourselves. So in order for us to grow and in order for us to be and become exactly who we're supposed to become, we have to get out of our own way.
Yep.
We have to let go of the preconceived notions that we put on ourselves of what we can actually do. Okay. I'm going to share a little bit more in the coming weeks about some of the other major life things we've got going on in just in the Dwyer household family. And I'll share some of that maybe next week. But I promise you, there is truth and value in trusting the process, putting your best foot forward, doing everything you can do, and then sitting back and going, Lord, I've done everything that you've told me to do. And now it's on you. Mm. I'm totally trusting you to take care of it. And that's what turns into this. Because I'm telling you, if you think that Christy and Aaron ever sitting there 3 years ago, as we're sitting in an office meeting in Madison with 2 people in the room with us, okay, are going to be thinking that we're looking at numbers like this, $166 million in closed volume. And it's you guys. This is you guys doing this. I promise you that's why we get up and do what we do every single morning, every single day. And I'm so thankful for you guys and the trust you've put in us and trusting your careers and your family. The impact that you're making is unbelievable, not just in your own family, but in your communities. Yep. Like tonight, I'm so excited to get to Madison and see what you guys are doing and see this event that's coming up. And then everybody get out there and hopefully it doesn't rain. Hopefully it's good weather and we can have some chairs out there and enjoy, listening to music and having fun as a company. I thank you. That's all I can say is these numbers don't lie. And there's an invitation on our refrigerator where we are going to be attending. I'm not, but I'm just saying that it's a result of the growth that you guys have been part of is what it is. And I'm super excited about it. And we love you guys. And we want you to get out there and kick it today. I know y'all got a big day. We've got a big day. We've got actually somebody that's going to be here in like 35 minutes and they'll probably be early. So probably 20 minutes to show this house, by the way. So
I got to go get in the shower.
All right. Love you guys. Be good.
Be great.
Be you.
Be y'all. Bye.